Alright, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be talking about this show that I recently started watching. It is called House of Villains. I started watching this show because I grew up on reality TV. I grew up on I Love New York. I grew up on The Housewives, the Love and Hip Hop, Married to Medicine. I didn't grow up these shows mainly because I wanted to watch them. I watched these shows because my sisters and my mother watched it all the time. So I know a lot of the people who are on these shows. The reason why I wanted to talk about House of Villains is because it is so messy and they have the most iconic person in reality TV on this show right now. And it is New York, New York, New York from Flavor of Love. And if you don't know what Flavor of Love is, just go watch some clips. It's like the most iconic piece of reality TV out there, all because of New York and her over the top antics that just people love and is drawn to. She didn't even know what she was doing back then. I don't even think she knew that she was being iconic. I just think she was being herself. She was jealous. She wanted all the other girls to not give Flavor Flav the attention that she wanted to give him. So the point of House of Villains is that the contestants are competing to win a grand prize of like $100,000 or $200,000, something like that. During this time, they're supposed to be voting each other off, creating alliances, double crossing each other because, this show is called The House of Villains. And you know what? They chose iconic reality TV stars to be a part of this show as villains because they were villains on their own show. So one thing I want to do is I want to go over the cast. I want to go over some iconic moments that have happened in the show already. I want to talk about their strategies that they're using to eliminate people and fool people into thinking that they're friends. But then what do you see the next moment? They are the ones nominating them up for elimination and telling them to get the fuck out of here. I think I'm going to start with the people I least like and that are least relevant to me, and then go up to the people who are playing the best game and that are the most iconic. So the first person that I'm going to talk about is Shake. Those of you who are up to date with reality TV like Love is Blind, you guys know who Shake is. He was the most unlikable guy on the show in that season, but honestly probably the most unlikable guy in the history of Love is Blind. He is one that was really rude to his partner. I think her name was like Deep Deep. She really was trying to get to know him, really trying to like him. He was just constantly putting her down, constantly talking behind her back, talking about how she reminds him of his own aunt, even his mom. And it's just like, first of all, that's a little creepy because you're the one over here trying to marry her. You're on this show that you're supposed to find the person you're going to marry, and you're talking about the person that you are potentially going to marry in this type of way. And you know what? He also did provide one of the most iconic seasons of reality TV / one of the best reunions that I have ever seen. And I have seen a lot of the Real Housewives, Atlanta, Potomac, Beverly Hills, Orange County. So it's just like, I've seen some great reality TV and I have never seen anything like this guy. So the thing about Shake is that I honestly don't feel like he has that many iconic moments. He's not portraying himself to be the person that we all saw in Love is Blind. He's a little quiet. He's like not really vibing with the other castmates, but I think it's because he's not really as iconic as everybody else. He gets into it later on in the show with a couple of different castmates. Even Jax Taylor, who was also on the show, those of you who have watched Vanderpump Rules, and that's another show that I forgot to mention that I have watched. He just is not that entertaining on this show. He was entertaining on the show on Love is Blind because he was being an a-hole, like an asshole. But in terms of viewership on House of Villains, he's kind of like my least favorite. And it's not even because he's being Shake. It's because he is boring to watch, which is why I listed him first. All right, the next one I'm going to list is Anfisa, who is from 90 Day Fiance. Again, that's another show I watched that I did not list, but she is iconic for being extremely rude to her partner. People were calling her a gold digger when she was on her show because she was always asking for money, being verbally abusive towards her partner. But I mean, he did go on a show where he found a bride and tried to marry her in 90 days from Russia. So, I mean, I couldn't even imagine being from a different country and then going to a place you don't really know anybody besides that person. I don't think I would act the way that she did. But that's why she got the reputation of being a villain and she was invited to this show. I really like her, honestly, on this show. She's really cute, really fit, and she's trying to use that to her advantage to help her win this game. I don't think it's really working because honestly, she is so obvious when she's trying to flirt with guys to, you know, get an advantage or a leg up in the competition. The sad part is everyone's talking about how she clearly is doing that in those moments because it is so obvious. It's like she's giving the opposite of an Oscar winning performance, okay? It was giving camp. It's giving parody where she's like, "Oh yeah, I like your muscles and I like your body," while rubbing their hand. And it's just like, girl, you're only doing this when you're trying to get an advantage in the competition, and like that person is the one holding the keys for you not being put up to elimination. Everyone realizes it. So at this point, I think it's detrimental to her game. Girl's got to do what she got to do. And if she knows how to do that, she can do it. She definitely got the looks, body, and mind for it. Apparently, these guys aren't dumb enough to fall for it. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot about Jax Taylor from Vanderpump Rules. I know I mentioned him a little bit earlier before, but honestly, he would be the first person I talked about because I think he's so relevant. I don't really like him, and I really hated him on Vanderpump Rules. I did not buy his redemption arc that he has later in the later seasons because honestly, if you watch all the seasons from start to finish, you shouldn't like Jax. He's a terrible person. From the perspective that I've seen on TV, obviously don't know him in person, but he just on camera just screams douche. He thought he was gonna win, and this is gonna be a spoiler. He thought he was gonna use his charm and his wit to win this competition, but he is the first one eliminated. Spoiler alert. Don't really care because honestly, he was super irrelevant, and honestly, a lot of the cast did not like him. They knew him from Vanderpump Rules, and they knew we need to get this guy out now, especially if there's gonna be physical challenges because he has an advantage over everyone, besides probably, you know, Johnny Bananas. The next person I'm going to talk about who is part of the cast is Corinne Olympicos or Olympos or whatever her name is. She's from The Bachelor. Do not watch The Bachelor. It's not something that interests me. I have friends who watch The Bachelors, but I honestly, again, don't think that's interesting. It's not a flavor of love. It's not a I love New York where it's just messy. People are shit talking and just going after each other. It's a little bit more proper and just crying, like depending on who you're watching or what season you're watching. I mean, a lot of people do like The Bachelor. It's one of, I guess, the top reality shows in the world. So Corinne is trying to win this game by using her charm and her looks to manipulate people within the competition, but she is not giving that at all. That's what she says, but she seems real vulnerable to everything. She cries over everything. She was the first person to cry in the house because Omarosa didn't say hi to her, and it's just like, girl, people are gonna see that and they're just going to be like, why is she here? Why is she a villain? She's here because apparently all the girls on her season of The Bachelor did not like her because she was the first person to kiss whoever the Bachelor was, and they were all jealous, so she became most hated. While she is really pretty, she's real ditzy, and she's trying to say that that's a part of her game, but honestly, it just seems like it's a part of her personality at this point because she's giving... Who is she giving? I don't know who she's giving because I don't know any ditzy bitches like that. But the next person I'm going to talk about is Bobby Lyles. He's from Love and Hip Hop, which I have seen that show. Didn't really remember who he was. I didn't watch Love and Hip Hop religiously like my family. He is known for going off on people, talking over them, getting into messy verbal confrontations. And so far on the show, he's just been coasting, like acting cordial with everybody. But so far on the show, he's just been this typical little out there, outgoing guy who flirts with everybody, and honestly he had a little thing going with Johnny Bananas, but then Johnny Bananas put him up for elimination, spoiler alert, and he just started causing all hell. He went on a rampage. He was so mad because Bananas blindsided him. I mean, if I was blindsided like he was and being put up for elimination, I probably would have lost it too because we saw it coming, the viewers, but he clearly did not see it coming. All right, the next one is Tanisha Thomas, and I am the religious watcher of Bad Girls Club. I watched every season. I still know some of those girls' names, especially the ones who got in the best fights. Tanisha, I honestly don't know why she's on this show, because one of the only iconic moments that she had was when she was with her frying pans. I don't get no sleep because of y'all. These bitches don't get no sleep because of me. And it's just like, yeah, she's iconic for that. People still talk about that. Even I still know that thing word for word. She wasn't really a villain. They could have got way better people from Bad Girls Club to be a villain. I mean, they could have put Natalie Nunn. I know, oh, she's annoying. I hate watching her on Baddies West and all the Baddies shows, but especially since she's the producer and she just acts like she's one of the cast members, and I'm like, there needs to be some separation there. But they could have chose a lot better people than Tanisha. Her game, she's just been coasting. She's been close to Johnny Bananas, and it's just like, just wait, because he's gonna cross you, you're gonna get eliminated, and then that's it for you. She hasn't been really that interesting to watch on TV, except for the last episode where she was put up for elimination from Omarosa. Another spoiler alert, she just lost it. Like, they went back and forth. That was kind of interesting. Not as interesting as the next person I'm going to talk about, because I am so upset, but so happy that this person was on the show, but so upset when this person had to leave the show. Miss New York, she gained her fame through, you know, her iconic scenes and fight with Pumpkin and fights with Hoops on that show, and other girls, you know, Pumpkin spit on her and she just, you know, grabbed her back, you know, got into it real quick. I honestly think New York has the most iconic story in reality TV, to go from where she is or where she was to maintaining her fandom and her fame from that show, and to keep going and to keep making iconic TV and to keep making iconic moments that will live on forever. Okay, when she got eliminated and she called Omarosa this, what did she call Omarosa? A cocksucking, cum guzzling Republican cunt. That is what she said to Omarosa. And you know what? We all agree. No one liked Omarosa. I honestly didn't even know who Omarosa was before this, which is, I guess, such a crime, because she's such a legend when it comes to reality TV from the iconic legends that are already on this show. She just, of course, hit it on the nail, made more iconic TV, and made sure that she was remembered on this show by saying the most iconic line that is going to come out of this show. There's no one who's going to do it better than her. And I'm pretty sure we're only halfway through this season. All right, and then we get to the top 3 players that I think have the best chance to win this show. First person I'm going to say is Omarosa, you know, the person that New York came for and slayed with her words, okay? Omarosa is from The Apprentice. She was on The Apprentice in 2004, so, you know, reality TV back then was messy. It wasn't as produced as it is now. The way that she's trying to win this show is, you know, using her intelligence within the White House to manipulate the vote. That's what she's been trying to do. She's been trying to win, and if she doesn't win, she tries to get people to vote for a certain person, which, yeah, that's what you're trying to do, but she does it every single time. And I'm surprised that no one has came for her. I think people are scared of her, and I don't know why, but I think that all went down the drain this last episode when she put Tanisha up for elimination, when New York read her to filth. For the last 2, we got Johnny Bananas, who I think is one of the most annoying people that I've ever watched on reality TV. He's loud. Apparently from New York's mouth, he looks like a reptilian, saber-toothed, ugly-looking thing. And honestly, when she even said that, it was just like, ooh, those words cut. And if I was there being called those things, I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have cried. But Johnny Bananas is from the real world. And I always had trouble saying that, so just don't even come for me right now. But he was one of the most successful players in the challenge. He was iconic for winning the show and then having the chance to split half his earnings with the second place contestant, and he took it all, which rightfully so, he won. Why would he split it? He won. But his strategy in this show is to outsmart people. He's trying to use his alliances to his advantage. I mean, he is the one who created the blind side that got Bobby so upset, rightfully so. Honestly, he's just way ahead of the other contestants. And I really hope they catch on soon, because he's definitely going to be in the top 3, one of the last 3 contestants who are there, if they keep letting him go and, you know, manipulate everybody like he's doing. Bobby woke up to it a little bit because of the blind side, and they were, you know, they had a good relationship. He thought they were like this, and all of a sudden, boom, he's up for elimination. I will be happy once he is gone from this show. And then last, the person who I think has been coasting and who has been playing the best game, even though he is so annoying in my opinion, Johnny Fairplay. Johnny Fairplay came into this. He is OG. He was on Survivor, which honestly, I do like that show. I did not watch the seasons he was on. I watched more of the later episodes. I guess he's iconic for some reason. The thing is, he expected people to know who he was, but even the cast members who were on that show didn't know who he was, besides like Emarosa and maybe one other person, maybe Johnny Bananas. He just thought he was more relevant than he actually was, and it shows. But he's playing the game smart. He's not like, even watching the show, you don't see him in a lot of scenes besides obviously when they're in the challenges, but he's not doing a lot of mingling. He's not getting on people's bad side. He's not getting on people's good side. He has his little alliance with Emarosa and they're plotting and their thing, which Emarosa, if she's there, she's going to come after Johnny Fairplay. He's done if she stays there. But yeah, he's iconic for creating a lie that his grandmother died to gain sympathy to help him in the future competition, and it worked for him. I don't know if he won or not. I mean, he's using his manipulative nature and his smarts to really outsmart everyone in this competition, and honestly, if he continues like he's continuing, he's gonna win the show. This video was only meant to give a quick like overview of the cast, what I've liked about their game, what I've seen on the show, and how each contestant is playing the game. I do think I'm going to create a future video that is more in-depth and more structured, because honestly, I don't see anybody talking about this show online. I don't see it on TikTok. I saw like the timestamps. It's only when the show first came out when people were talking about it, and when New York did her most iconic line, because she is, you know, her. That is it for this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.